Kylian Mbappé just scored his 400th career goal at 26 years old. But here's what nobody talks about. When he was 11, Chelsea invited him for a trial. They were impressed, but they hesitated, and his mother looked at them and said, "Sign him now, or in a few years you'll have to pay hundreds of millions." Chelsea didn't act. They went back to beg for him later. And it cost them 166 million. Subscribe to Cyberboot right now, because the story of how Mbappé became unstoppable starts with that one moment. Let's go. Welcome back to Cyberboot, where we break down the stories behind football's greatest legends. Yesterday, in France's World Cup qualifier against Ukraine, Kylian Mbappé scored twice. That took his career tally to 400 goals at just 26 years old. To put that in perspective, Cristiano Ronaldo didn't reach 400 until he was 28. Lionel Messi hit it at 27. Mbappé is doing it faster than almost anyone in history. But this isn't just about numbers. This is about a kid from Bondy, a tough suburb outside Paris, who watched Cristiano Ronaldo highlights instead of cartoons, who had a mother that knew her son was special before the world did, and who turned down Europe's biggest clubs until he decided it was time. By the end of this video, you'll understand why Mbappe's story is about more than goals. It's about vision, confidence, and proving everyone who doubted you wrong. Let's dive in. December 20th, 1998. Bondy, France. A small, tough suburb on the outskirts of Paris. Not the kind of place where football legends are supposed to come from. But Kylian Mbappé Lotin was born into a family that lived sports. His father, Wilfried Mbappé, was a football coach. His mother, Faiza Lamari, was a professional handball player. Their home was small, but it was filled with discipline, structure, and athletic excellence. And from the age of 6, everyone who saw Kylian play knew, this kid is different. He wasn't like other children. While his friends watched cartoons, Kylian was studying football highlights. While they played video games, he was practicing skills in the backyard. And covering his bedroom walls, posters of Cristiano Ronaldo, not Zidane, not Henry. Ronaldo, the Portuguese machine, the relentless goal scorer, the player who refused to accept limits. That obsession would shape everything. By age 11, Kylian was training with older players. He was faster, smarter, more clinical. Coaches couldn't believe what they were seeing. This wasn't just talent, this was a prodigy. And then came the trial that would change everything. 2010. Kylian Mbappé is 11 years old. Chelsea FC invites him to London for a youth trial. He trains with their under-12 team. Future pros like Tammy Abraham are there. And Kylian, he dominates. Faster than everyone, sharper than everyone. Goals, assists, movement that looked professional. Chelsea's coaches are impressed. They pull his parents aside and say, "He's talented. Let's bring him back for another trial later. We'll keep watching him." Another trial. Keep watching. In other words, we're not sure yet. And that's when Faiza Lamari, Kylian's mother, said something that would become legendary. She looked at those Chelsea officials and said, "If you want to sign him, do it now. Otherwise, in a few years, you'll have to offer him hundreds of millions." Chelsea hesitated. They didn't act. Mbappé went back to France. And here's the twist that makes this story perfect. 7 years later, in 2017, Chelsea was one of the clubs desperately trying to sign Mbappé. By then, PSG had already paid 180 million, the second most expensive transfer in history, to bring him from Monaco. Chelsea's hesitation cost them one of the greatest players of this generation. Faiza Lamari's prediction came true, word for word. And here's my first question for you. Do you think Chelsea regrets that decision? Or would Mbappé have developed the same way in England? Drop your answer in the comments. I want to hear what Cyberboot's audience thinks. After Chelsea passed, Mbappé joined as Monaco's academy. And by age 16, he was already breaking Thierry Henry's youth records. At 18 years old, he led Monaco to the Ligue 1 title in the 2016-17 season. They beat PSG, the richest club in France. They reached the Champions League semi-finals, and Mbappé was the star. Europe took notice. Real Madrid wanted him, Barcelona wanted him, Manchester City wanted him, and yes, Chelsea, who'd passed on him as a kid, wanted him too. But PSG acted first. They paid $180 million to bring him home to Paris. The prodigal son returning to France's capital, the kid from Bondy becoming the face of French football. And then came the moment that made him a global icon, 2018. FIFA World Cup. Russia. Mbappé is 19 years old, France reaches the final against Croatia, and Mbappé doesn't just participate, he dominates. He scores in the final, becomes the youngest player since Pelé to score in a World Cup final. France wins 4-2. Mbappé lifts the trophy. And the world realizes this isn't just a prospect, this is a legend in the making. But here's the part most people forget. After winning the World Cup, Mbappé donated all his tournament earnings, around $500,000, to a children's charity. He said, "I don't need to be paid to play for France, it's an honor." That's character. That's the kid his mother knew would be special. At PSG, Mbappé became unstoppable. Multiple League One titles, domestic cups, goal after goal, record after record. He became France's all-time top scorer before turning 25. Think about that. Thierry Henry, Michel Platini, Zinedine Zidane. Mbappé passed them all, and he's still only 26. But there was one dream left, one club he'd wanted since childhood, Real Madrid. The same club Cristiano Ronaldo made legendary. The same white shirt Mbappé used to dream about wearing as a kid. And in 2024, it finally happened. After years of speculation, contract drama, and media circuses, Kylian Mbappé joined Real Madrid. His unveiling at the Santiago Bernabeu, over 80,000 fans, chanting his name like a hero returning home. Because to them, he was. In his first season, Mbappé won the La Liga Golden Boot. He guided Madrid deep into the Champions League. The trophy narrowly escaped him that year, but everyone knows it's only a matter of time. This was destiny. The boy who worshipped Ronaldo now walked the same path. Wearing the same white shirt, playing in the same stadium, carrying the same legacy forward. And here's my second question for you. Do you think Mbappé will win the Ballon d'Or with Real Madrid? Or will Haaland, Vinny, or someone else beat him to it? Let me know in the comments. Which brings us to yesterday, France versus Ukraine. World Cup qualifiers, Mbappé scores twice, and with those two goals he reached 400 career goals. At 26 years old. Let me break that down for you. 256 goals for PSG, 62 goals for Real Madrid, 55 goals for France, 27 goals for AS Monaco, 400 goals. Most players retire without reaching that number. Mbappé did it before turning 27. Cristiano Ronaldo hit 400 at age 28. Messi at 27. Only a handful of players in history have reached this milestone so young. And here's what makes it even more impressive. Mbappé isn't just a goal scorer. He's a playmaker, a creator, a leader. He once said, "I don't want to be the next Ronaldo or Messi. I want to be the first Mbappé." That confidence? That's the same confidence his mother had when she told Chelsea, "Sign him now or pay hundreds of millions later." It runs in the family. Mbappé's story isn't about being the next anyone. It's about being himself. And proving that when you believe in your talent, when you work relentlessly, and when you refuse to accept limits, you become unstoppable. So, what's next for Mbappé? He's already a World Cup winner, Golden Boot champion, Real Madrid superstar, France's all-time top scorer, and now 400 career goals at 26. But his story isn't ending, it's just entering its most powerful chapter. The Champions League trophy with Real Madrid? That's coming. The Ballon d'Or? That's coming. Another World Cup with France? Maybe. Mbappé is still in his mid-20s. Most players are just hitting their prime at this age. And he's already achieved what legends retire with. So here's my final question for you before we wrap up. Where does Mbappé rank among the all-time greats right now? Is he already top 10, top 20? Or does he need more trophies first? Drop your answer in the comments. I'm genuinely curious what Cyberboot's audience thinks. Alright, let's bring this home. Kylian Mbappé scored his 400th career goal yesterday at just 26 years old. From Bondy to Chelsea's rejected trial, from Monaco to PSG, from World Cup glory to Real Madrid. This is a story of vision, confidence, and proving doubters wrong. Now here's what I need from you. Hit that subscribe button on Cyberboot and turn on notifications. We're telling the real stories behind football's greatest legends. Drop a comment answering this. Do you think Mbappé will break Cristiano Ronaldo's all-time goal record? Can he reach 900 plus goals? Tell me, who's your favorite current footballer and why? Let's get a conversation going in the comments. This is Cyberboot. We're building a community of fans who understand that football is about more than just goals. It's about the journey. Subscribe, comment, and let's keep this going. Until next time, remember, greatness isn't given, it's earned. One goal at a time. Just like Mbappé.